Well, hi there, Capricorn. You have a very difficult reading, a very complex one, let's put it that way. Now, before I go on, I have an announcement. My other channel, Brothers of the Sword Productions, has another video out, and it's about the Oak Island Money Pit, and I'm explaining it. If you're interested, the link is down below in the description box. Now, the rune that you received is Algaes. This is about the power of divine, providence, things that God has anointed. It's kind of funny, quite a few of the other readings in this month are about people finding themselves or becoming more comfortable with themselves, more of a self-discovery going on. I think this is happening because of the eclipse season that we had and the difficulty involved in it. 3 eclipses with all different flavors. The lunar eclipse at the end of July was about relationships. There was a lot of emotions flowing through all of these eclipses. But here with your reading, this is even more in depth about finding yourself. This is more about your spiritual divine life, about you seeking it, seeing it for what it is. The symbol of Algaes is like 3 little forks reaching up to the sky. And this can indicate prayer to the divine, outstretched arms. There's something really predestined about all of this and where you're going now. And this month of October is going to be a turning point, a touchstone, a keystone in what's going on in your life. There's going to be some changes coming up. Algaes is also a symbol of protection, shielding you from evil, keeping you safe from harm. But it's also a symbol that reminds you that we have a lot of frailties in life. And a lot of times we feel sorry for ourselves, self-absorbed, self-pity, selfishness. And in order to find yourself, you really have to shed that type of thinking and feeling. There's no room for pity party. You know, you have to have the courage to face up to reality and get rid of the delusions of what you think is going on instead of what really is happening. Now, the Minchiati card, the deck that I put together, you received hearing. So it appears you're going to receive some type of message. You're going to hear something that's going to be very poignant to you. And it might not even seem really important at the time. All of a sudden you're going to start thinking about it, and then you'll have an aha moment. I don't think you've really been reaching out for the spiritual change. It's just happening. You know, and at first it was such a slow progress that you really didn't even notice it. Capricorns always feel like they have the responsibility to succeed and to receive earthly rewards because you are an earth sign. But I think that's changing a little bit. You're seeking now more of a mystical wisdom, more of a spiritual awakening. Because the overall energy cards that you receive is the Hangman and the Four of Wands. The Four of Wands is about home, but here it's more signifying you finding and discovering yourself more on a spiritual level. This has all to do with sacrificing. Sacrificing some things, earthly possibly, emotionally, maybe, physically, yes, to find your spiritual, inner value. This is quid pro quo, something for something. Nothing is free in life, and especially wisdom. We make a lot of mistakes to backtrack, to go the right path, and actually even try to amend mistakes at the same time. You're starting to look at things where the outside world isn't really distracting you anymore. More like the Hermit. And I believe the Hermit is a future card. Yeah, you received the Hermit in the future. I think you're going on a spiritual journey and you're thinking about life and death, rebirth, a lot of heavy things, existential type things. Where did we come from? What's the reason for our life? What are we destined to do? What is fate drawing us towards? You know, you had a lot of preconceived ideas about things that had happened in the past. And a lot of times you were disappointed when they didn't happen the way you wanted them to. But now you have some new ideas, and they're floating around in the backdrop of your mind. And you're starting to make some sense out of it all. You're starting to connect the dots now in a great reflection. And this is where true value and true reality and true spiritualism meet together. This is where you're going to learn to do without desire. Don't expect rewards. Immediate gratification in my hand. This is going to be a long-term walk the path. But the payback is going to be personal harmony and comfort at home with the Four of Wands there. This can be a personal ascension card, the Four of Wands can be. It can also be harmony with other people. Finding peace in those relationships with people where you don't have to talk anymore and silence actually speaks more volume. You don't have to make a point. You two just know the point. What is that Arlo Guthrie song? It's pointless to be in a land of point without a point. Well, here it is. You're looking for your point in life. The one that connects all the dots together. Now the cards on the left. You receive the Knight of Cups twice. And this is in the category of what you know. The Knight of Cups is about arrivals, departures, reunions. He's a peacemaker. He's a lover. He's not a fighter. He's a knight, but he would prefer to avoid any war and conflicts. He's offering a cup of opportunity, and this has to do with emotions, intuition, and your spirituality. He's offering you the opportunity to accept it if you have the wisdom to find the spiritual self. This is a card about the realm of your feelings. You're getting in touch with yourself. This whole union is also about union within you. It's about finding a unity. Unity within yourself, unity with the surrounding world and nature, unity in your relationships. Because sometimes I think you've isolated yourself and it's I, me, my. That doesn't have a we involved in it. This card has a sense of fulfilling relationships with your fellow man. Getting back into the cosmic collective. Connecting yourself and plugging back in. This is where you find yourself more socially active and reaching yourself out to other people. Kind of appears that you might get involved with some type of institution or like-minded people, because the cards in the center for what is or can be yours is the Hierophant and the High Priestess. Two very spiritual cards. Two cards that seek value in life and spiritual value in your quest. When you see the Hierophant, it indicates that you're seeking some type of truth. But here it's really heavy and deep. You have the High Priestess with it too, connecting yourself to the cosmos, listening to your inner voice, following your instincts and intuition, being aware of signposts that are telling you to go this way. The Hierophant too is about the unknown, because what's in front of the Hierophant is the known. What's behind the Hierophant and the two pillars that are on each side of him is the unknown. And this is what you're seeking now, is the spiritual unknown of your inner self. The Chinese have something called Wu Wei, and it's called non-action. And it's just that some things happen the way they should. You don't have to act. And a lot of times, if something's hard to do, it really isn't worth doing. Allow things to take its natural course. Now, the cards for your awareness are your self-awareness, is the Devil and the Nine of Swords. You're beating yourself up for some things. You've resented some things, and now you regret even the resentment. You have to renew yourself. You can't lay in bed and say, why did this happen this way? Frustration, anxiety, depression. And here the Devil is your card. There's two sides to this, that you're finding yourself, or you're going to fall into more denial than you've been in before. The Devil is really about denial, because you don't have the courage to to climb out of whatever happened, whatever you have to get out of. Freedom. You're seeking that because you've been in some type of bondage. A lot of times we just hold ourselves in that bondage, thinking, yeah, okay, I might be addicted to coffee, I might be addicted to booze, I might be addicted to drugs, but I'll just do it one more time. But that one more time just never stops anything. A lot of times, Capricorns have control issues as well because they want to succeed so direly that they want to control everything around them. They're kind of a mini aspect of the Virgos because Virgos too are detail oriented and like to have control of what's around them. Everything in its place kind of thing. You have some good future cards though. You have the Empress. It's telling you that you have to start enjoying the material things on a spiritual level. Love is spiritual. It really isn't earthly. It's time to find some unconditional love for yourself and other people. The Empress signifies harvest, bounty, fertility, bringing new things into your life, letting them grow. Having this connect the physical, material world to the spiritual, celestial world. Because that is the message from the High Priestess back there. And the great thing now is that you have the Nine of Cups, the wish card. Yeah, you've wished for a lot of things. You've wished to get out of that Nine of Swords anxiety and hurt. And you go back into this funk if you don't watch out because you have the Four of Cups card there. The Spectator card, where now you've just let things go by and you're not even participating in them. A little bit of depression, uncomfortable emotionally. You have to make sure that you're not going back into these funks. And then the next card is the Hermit. And he is connected to the Hanged Man. Yeah, it really is time to shed some things that no longer serve you anymore. Time to go within yourself and discover yourself. A lot of people don't even do that, even to death's door. They never really discover themselves. They never really discover the value of things. A famous actor died not long ago, and he had a lot of addictions. And he said to his daughter before he died, so much time wasted. And I found that very interesting to think at the very end of it, and his body's shutting down because he drank so much, that it finally came to a realization that he wasted way too much time having that pity party and resenting a lot of things and not living his life. And the last card you received is the Six of Wands, and it's a victory card. It's saying you overcame the hard lessons that you had to learn. If you went back within yourself and discovered yourself. But make sure that you're willing to sacrifice a few things to find yourself. And I wish you acceptance, peace, and happiness.